Thanks for coming in. Now, what is your name?
George Mauk. M-A-U-K.
Do you have a middle name?
Willis. M-A-U-K.
When were you born, George?
I was born August 16th, 1921.
All right, very good. George, you told me your name and your date of birth. What is your present address?
It's Box 319, South Shore, Kentucky.
Okay. And what are your parents' names?
It's Lee Mauk and Sarah Mauk. They both passed away. Lee Mauk and Sarah Mauk.
All right.
Sarah Catherine.
Do you know your grandparents' names on your father's side?
On my father's side is Leander Mauk.
Leander?
Yeah.
Interesting name.
Leander Mauk and Sarah Mauk.
Okay. And on your mother's side, who were her parents?
It was Catherine Garvey and Silas Garvey.
Okay, Garvey. Now, you know that 100 years from now, your great-grandchildren can come into the Portsmouth Public Library where this tape is going to be, and they can pull it off the shelf and listen to your story and see you and be proud of what you've done. You were in the Army, or what branch of service were you?
I was in the United States Marine Corps.
In the Marine Corps, okay. And when did you go in?
It was in July 1942.
Okay. Did you join? Were you drafted? How did that come about?
I joined. I was in for 4 years.
All right. And what was your, we call it MOS, what did you do in the Marine Corps? What was your job?
I was in charge of machine gun outfit in the South Pacific, Guadalcanal, through the Rundle Islands.
I see.
And then came back to Guadalcanal and was trained in replacement for Iwo Jima. And been overseas in the jungle there for 25 months without a rest period, and came back to the States with 6 months rest period. And got back to San Diego, and they're bringing casualties back. Got back to San Diego day after Christmas, 1944.
I see.
For a rest period for 6 months. And then I was sent to Parris Island, South Carolina, as a drill instructor for 6 months. When that 6 months was up, I got reinstated for 6 more months, and a few months later the war was over.
I see.
But I had all 4 more months to serve before my 4 years was up.
When did you get out of the service?
In July 46.
And what was your rank when you were discharged?
Well, I was a sergeant.
Okay.
Drill instructor.
Okay.
Sergeant.
Now, after you got out, what did you do? Did you come back to Sauter County, or
yeah, I went.
Were you from Greenup County or Sauter County?
No, I was from Sauter County.
Okay. And
when I came back, I worked in Williams Manufacturing Company for a couple of years.
Where was that you worked for?
Williams Manufacturing
Williams,
Company.
yeah, the shoe company.
Yeah, and then when I came back, I went back to work there and worked there until they went out of business in 76.
I see. Now, are you married, single, divorced, widowed, separated?
Married. Yeah.
Okay. What is your wife's name?
Shirley Mauk.
Do you have children?
Yes, I have a daughter, a school teacher in Southwestern High School.
What is her name?
Kathy Mauk.
Kathy Mauk, yes.
Oh, Kathy Grimm now.
Grimm, I know Kathy Grimm.
And
from Southwest.
Yeah, and then John Grimm, my son-in-law, and they have three girls.
What are their names?
And Sarah and Emily, and I forget the other one.
Okay, but she's around there.
Yeah. And anyway, I have a son that is in San Francisco, and he is a physical therapist at the hospital out there. Jeff Mauk. Sure. Then I have a son named Scott Mauk, and he lives here in Portsmouth.
I see. So you had 3 children.
Yeah, then, well, I got 3 grandchildren and 1 grandson.
1 grandson. Okay, very good. Now, you were overseas. Where did you do your basic training?
Paris Island, South Carolina.
Okay. Now, after Paris Island, where did you go?
I went to Camp Lejeune for machine gun school. Then went to San Diego to go back and go overseas.
What kind of machine gun did you shoot?
We had 50 caliber machine guns and 30 caliber.
Were those 50 calibers? Were they the water cooled type?
Yeah, they were water cooled.
They had the jacket around the barrel to cool it.
The jacket, and then also we used them more or less for planes. Dive bomb and straightness.
I see. Did you go to Guadalcanal then? After let's see, you went to.
That's where we landed, Guadalcanal, when we first went overseas.
That was in August, I think, of 1942 when we first landed. Right? Were you in the first wave?
I was in about 3 weeks or so after.
3 weeks ago. They were still fighting though at that time, weren't they? Okay. It was quite okay. Now, from these experiences in the South Pacific, did you bring back any souvenirs?
Oh, a couple, 3 Japanese flags.
Did you? Do you still have them?
I think they're laying around someplace.
Okay. Good. And do you keep in touch with any of your war buddies? Anybody?
No, of course.
Go to any reunions? Or?
No, nothing on now. Most of them, I'm 78 years old. Most of them have already passed away.
Okay. Were you ever wounded in the service?
Oh, yeah, place here, and then a scar here, and then the shot nicked the shoulder.
Okay. Did you get Purple Heart?
No, I never did put in for it. Didn't want it. Just wanted to get back.
Okay.
I knew too many people cut their hands on the can, open up a can of rations. Cut their hand, get a Purple Heart.
They put in for Purple Heart when they open up their rations. Okay. Now, have you ever been back to any of those places you were in the service?
No, never have.
What's the worst thing that ever happened to you?
I could say one thing, maybe land in the foxhole and it's half full of water and Japanese run around us, and me and another buddy would be in a foxhole sleeping in the water in the rain, and finally feel something hit on him, and he'd reach out and get a jab with a leg and jerk him in and stab him.
My gosh. Well, let me ask you then, let's go to the other extreme. What's the best thing that ever happened to you when you were in the service? If anything.
Just, I guess, did my part to protect the America.
Did you, did the military change you in any way?
Oh, yeah, quite a bit. One thing that made men out of boys, like we did, drill instructor and training, and 80 men through boot camp, Paris Island, 17, 18-year-old old. They got out 10 weeks, 12 weeks training. They were men.
How old were you when you went in?
I was 19.
You were there 4 years.
Yeah.
And you were about 23 when you got in.
Right.
Is there anything you'd like to say to anybody watching this film 100 years from now?
No, I couldn't think of anything right now, but probably 100 years from now they will be advanced on every type of military. They wouldn't have to do what we did.
Did you have any decorations, any medals or anything like that?
No, just a bunch of ribbons, and I had the Presidential Unit Citation with 3 stars on it.
Should have had the Purple Heart. Should have put in for it because you didn't want it. Okay. Do you have any tattoos you want to talk about or anything?
No, I started to get a tattoo one time.
What happened?
And I watched another guy in San Diego. I said, "That's it. No tattoos for me." No.
Now, when you were in the Marines, were you married or single?
Single.
Well, now let me ask you this: what does a single Marine do when he's on liberty?
Just about anything you want.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you did.